Hello, guys, this is Madhur Agarwal, your host, and welcome to the Sunday Capsule Podcast. Today it's our fifth episode, and we're gonna be talking about the hyperthreading technology. Hyperthreading technology is Intel's proprietary simultaneous multi-threading implementation used to improve parallelization of computations performed on microprocessors. Understood? No. Let's simplify it for you. First of all, you are all familiar with cores. There are single core processors, multi core processors, which starting from dual core can go up to 64 cores on a personal desktop's processor. But what these cores actually do? You can think of cores as an individual processor itself. So if your processor have 4 cores, it implies that you actually have 4 separate processors which can work independently without interfering with each other. That's why people using their PCs for productivity related tasks like editing and rendering focus on the number of cores. By now, you are familiar with cores. It's just like you have 4 workers in your factory who can perform multiple tasks given to them. Now, before talking about hyperthreading, you also need to know about thread. What are threads? They are just instructions provided as input, which is analogous to the task you give to your workers. Now, in hyperthreading, your operating system will recognize your single core as 2 cores, which means if you have an octa-core processor, your OS will recognize it as a 16-core processor. So, you are probably thinking, so what? A worker cannot do more tasks even if we think they are 8 instead of 4? As you know, your cores are physically same, but what it does, it removes the idle time between 2 instructions by intelligent scheduling. Suppose you ask your workers to skip their lunch break and keep feeding them with tasks. Actually, the processing power is same, but due to a decrease in idle time, the processor can accomplish more in the same amount of time. Hyperthreading is actually beneficial for people involved in rendering and editing related tasks or even multitasking. But for normal day to day tasks and even gaming, yet hyperthreading is not of significant use. Why? Because of the nature of the work. As you know that processing power remains same, it means it can do multiple small tasks while using hyperthreading. But in processes like gaming, a single task needs to use major available processing power. So that's it, guys. Hope you find today's podcast productive. Please rate it on whatever platform you are listening to. Thank you so much and take care.